What's going on, guys? GM85 for Tech Talk and Shop. This month we are talking about those jobs that kicked our butts, guys. And I'm just going to do a simple job that turned into much more than a simple job. And that job was putting a belt on a bike. That's all the phone call was. Can you put a belt on my bike? My bike has no belt. Sure, no problem. Simple job. Where the job goes is dismount the tire. Primary comes off on the front. Clutch basket compensator come out. Back of primary comes out. Loop the belt in, tension everything up, do your rear alignment, slap it all back together, boom, boom, boom. Simple. So let's address problem number one. Right there is going to be the rear tire. That was problem number one. Problem number one on this is that is the wrong tire for this frame. It was a soft tail frame with a Sportster tire on it. Now we did put everything together and notice that it had clearance issues. Wrong tire for the wrong frame. The reason the belt was off the bike or whatever it was the belt would rub on the guard and it shredded the original belt off. Hence the reason there was no belt. So problem one was we need to get a new tire now for the bike and get it mounted. Problem number two is trying to source the bearings. The bearings on this particular wheel were open bearings, if I remember correctly. So that took a little minute to do. Tire was easy to get. So let's go back into the primary. So put a little photo up there on the primary. So since the primary is open, of course, we're going to need gaskets and hardware. Other issue we ran into was multiple holes were stripped out. So on that photo, I'll tag. There'll be little red dots, and those bolts all had to be rethreaded. On top of finding hardware, which is easy. The only issue we had was finding the little locker washers and all that fun stuff. So once everything went back together with the proper tire, we were good. Boom, boom, boom. Loctite everything up nice and good. And so everything went together nice and smooth. The only issue we ran into that was really problematic was the way our parts were coming for this. They sent like, here's your Ziploc bag of your nuts and your bolts, and here's your flat washers. It came like one at a time. It was a headache to deal with over a week basically, or 2 weeks, however long this took. So once we got the right tire on, the belt on, we were good. We placed the jack shaft because the old one was worn. So that was fun. Everything went back together. Bike didn't kick over still. Turned into, now we needed a starter because it wasn't given full engagement on the flywheel. So that was another problem. So get the starter. The problem with the starter on this particular bike was there was 3 different starters for this particular model for some reason, which was a little baffling, but got the right one in there finally. Then it turned into, now the carb needed to be disassembled and cleaned, or just straight up no one, along with a couple of exhaust gaskets and air cleaner needed to be put on as well. So small simple job, put a belt on, turned into a bunch of little micro jobs and other problems just from doing something so simple as putting a belt on. Turned into tire, bearings, gaskets, hardware, starter rebuild basically, carburetor, and all that other stuff. Somehow it all just snowballed downhill real quick, guys. But bike does run perfectly fine now, and it is really a nice bike. I can't ride it because I'm so short. Got forward controls. Also, the forward controls needed to be welded because it was held on with a tack weld apparently. So GM85 for Tech Talk and Shop, guys. This is one of those simple jobs that turned into a headache for me personally, and it's just sometimes how it goes. The simple jobs will kick your butt some days.